Battle started.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everyone, and welcome to the Sinkhole Network. We are here with another free-for-all, this time with only 4 people instead of 5. This is a fun map for that. You don't know who's coming from where. I enjoyed this map. Lots of metal, lots of flat, lots of choke points. Interesting things can happen here. So this time around, we've got, of course, myself here on the top as the blue pair. I am starting as a Legion commander. I apparently messed up my build order there and had to reset. Over here we have BD Corillo as the green Armada commander in the northeast corner. Candor in the southwest as red Cortex because he is always Cortex. And Master Scarlet probably going to show us some artillery shenanigans in the southwest as an Armada commander, opening with vehicles. I believe I went bots. Yes, I went bots on this. BD is yet to place a lab, and Candor, of course, places bots. So, Sinkhole Network, lots of fun. Free-for-all, lots of fun. Political shenanigans. We love to do these with open voice comms, so we can perhaps enter the bargaining stage of grief when we start to notice the game going south on us. But yeah, if you enjoy these and you'd like to hear the actual voice comms for it, check out the Twitch channel. I do these on my Twitch, not Nabarine, so twitch.tv/directedenergy. Or if you would like to see them on YouTube, let me know in the comments and we'll see if we can arrange some YouTube streams and maybe even have a Nabarine present for that, because I feel like her voice would be an added blessing to the whole game there, although she might not want to play because we're all sweaty gamers that like to be competitive. So anyway, moving on here. As we know, BD is a bit of a he's a bit of a turtle here, so I'm expecting to see lots of fixed defenses from. Oh, we're going directly into Janus Stout Shellshocker, going full into the production of the combat units, skipping the lighter blitz tanks. Candor doing his normal grunt spam at the beginning, just trying to keep his economy running. Scarlet already moving out. Looks like he's got Minesweeper. Wow. Very defensive-minded here. Building up some mexes. Looks like he's already got some A-Solars coming in. Skipping wind entirely. An interesting choice, but understandable one. Scarlet likes to go for the sure thing, even if it's more expensive. I've begun moving out to take my mexes over here, and one of the advantages of Legion is even if you're low on energy, you still get your metal extractor income because they generate energy instead of taking it. Although you pay for that by getting a slightly reduced metal. I believe it's about 10-ish% or so. I don't know. Got some goblins out. Absolutely love goblins.
Battle
Hilarious
paused.
little things.
Battle started.
That's right. I had to step away for the moment because I believe my daughter had gotten into something and spread, might have been yogurt all over the table or floor or something. Sometimes that happens. Occasionally Nabarine has to step away and I have to, and I'm streaming while the daughter gets into something. Candor now moving north into his first expansion, as they say in StarCraft, natural expansion. StarCraft, another great game that I am terrible at. Scarlet putting out some cheap wind energy because he cannot get this A-Solar up without more energy, which is wise. So that should get him to where he needs to be. I'm expecting to see him kind of start taking off with those early advanced solars, unless he cannot keep up with all the wins that other players tend to make at this point in the game. Candor also going A-Solar. BD just sticking with regular solars because why not? Looks like he's already got his defensive array up. Keep in mind, we have no idea where each other are. We use the free-for-all preset setting, so it's a complete random placement. The map chooses the starting locations for us, and we then go. You can see I'm expanding, trying to keep a little bit of a defensive perimeter against scouts or other early aggression here. It's a large map, so I'm building these faster Centaur units to be able to quickly respond to any threats I find. I think, let's see, who's going here? It looks like BD is actually out resourcing all of us in terms of metal, having pushed forward with his commander. Moving in, trying to get a little bit more of that metal income. Eventually, we may see some friction up here. Scarlet with very, very, very thorough mine coverage in a lot of areas. Fascinating. He's left an opening. Nope, no he has not. Everything. So many mines. You got to be careful with mines because each one takes a little bit of energy. And you can see all these together, they're only taking 28. But if you spam them, it starts to become significant after a while. Pretty good use of mines because that's going to stop any scouts from getting in there. Absolutely. And give them a warning when the mine goes off. I don't use mine layers hardly ever, but might be something to try. I'm trying to secure my flanks here with some Pharaoh's heat ray towers. I like the flavor that they get for their light laser tower. The Legion faction definitely has its own personality. I think a little bit more than even the ARM or Cortex. It feels like it's a little lower tech, a little bit more brute force. Until you get into the higher tech 2 and you get things like the I think it's called the Helios, the bomber that doesn't bomb but just fires a giant beam of death from above. Thing's glorious. Okay, we're gonna speed things up a little bit here because we don't want to be sitting here watching nothing happen. You can see I continue to push out fairly regularly. Scarlet pushing north with some mine layers. Trying to see what's going on, or maybe he is using it as a scout. I destroy the mine layer. Not sure what happened there. More mine layers, securing more of Scarlet's flank. I have never seen this before. This is actually pretty ingenious, at least for the early game. I don't think this is going to do much for later game units. Even the heavier tier 1s are probably going to roll through that pretty quickly. Kander also we're each taking about a 3x3 square here, it looks like. Well, Scarlet's 2x2. Kander starting to pull ahead in area taken. But we've all got about the same amount going on here. And you can see I'm pushing out, trying to secure my little 3x3 square. Because it's easier to defend across this large gap here, where there's not a middle point. BD with quite a large army of vehicles. Terrifying army of vehicles here. Probably has the most dangerous army on the map right now. All pretty even. I think I have actually the lowest metal income at the moment. Oh, just bumped up a little bit more. Let's see, have we gone Tech 2 yet? Yes, so I have gone Tech 2, starting to push out some of those Tier 2 units. Let's see, Kander is still punching out the Tech 1. He has swapped to T2 vehicles here. Wasn't swapped, has built an additional factory. Starting to see some combat up here. Looks like I've run into some of BD's units. He starts shelling my poor centaurs here. So I start pushing it up north to see what's going on up here. And push into an absolute wall of death. BD, having the radar, has seen my units. I don't believe I can see him because he's got those jammers up over there. See, BD, player view, can see all my stuff. Direct energy. Oops. Our player cam. I can hardly see any of his because he uses jammers a lot better than I can. So, starting to push some of these Tech 2 units forward in the hopes that they're going to give me an advantage. It was a fairly early Tech 2 transition. And I still am lagging a little behind Scarlet, who is just booming. Scarlet starting an APHIS at 14 minutes in a free-for-all. What a stud. It's just pumping out as much energy as he can to handle his mines and jammers. Going full turtle here, showing us how it's done to turtle up. Almost I don't think he has any combat units. Has literally 0 combat units. But just turtling up like a madman. Candor. Cannot see the mines. Mines are cloaked, so they are unseeable until they explode. So it's starting to look like we're going to have Scarlet and Candor in the south, and BD and me in the north here, is where the lines are being drawn. A little bit of no man's land across the middle here. Candor starting to build up his signature brute ball to try and break anyone. We'll speed it up again here, see what happens. These free-for-alls can be a little slow at the beginning when people are trying to decide who to fight, especially on these larger maps. So that's something to remember, that if I want something a little faster paced, we need a smaller map to deal with it. Or we need to find a few more people and get some team games going, so maybe like 4v4. I think that's where it really starts to get interesting in bar, is where you get like the 3v3, 4v4. Not as big of a fan of 8v8s as a lot of the bar community is. Feels a little less interesting to me. Oh, we've got combat. Pushing in, and he's porked up enough to where it's just not worth trying to kill what he's got over there. And let's see, BD can see a few of my units. I can't see his. I did end up building this Nyx jammer here. You can also see that I have built an air lab and starting to pump out some air units for quick defense. T1 units really good, especially in Legion. I find the T1 air very good for rapid response to leakers. Let's see, Scarlet, do you have? Scarlet has a single combat unit. He is building no Starlight. Never mind. He had a single combat unit. Now we're going more advanced constructors. He is just doubling down on the pork here. Putting up Dragon's Teeth to keep smaller units away behind all these sentries. Oh my goodness. The jammer keeping it all hidden from view. That is funny. Up here in the north, we've got a Guardian coming up. It's a lot of metal to spend for not a lot. But I go ahead and respond with the Amputator. Much, much cheaper than the Gauntlet. Sorry, not Guardian. Lower DPS, though. Oh, not a little bit. So you can see how it goes in, hits, and just the scatter shots deal a little bit extra damage. Spreading that damage over a few things. We got an artillery duel. Best kind. Let's see. What do we got? Speed that up a little bit. Artillery duels are boring to watch. So, we continue to build up forces. BD building quite the death ball over here. Vastly outpacing my construction ability. And I start to notice that. Candor, having found the mines, has Juno'd this area to clear the mines. And then he pushes up north into a bunch of my units with this massive grunt ball. 40 grunts. Strider's great, but not against a ball of that size. Not able to cull their numbers enough. Fortunately, I do have this Air Force to come in here and start firing on these grunts. Cutting their numbers even more. Trying to prevent them from getting to anything too juicy, and it looks like I'm going to get this cleaned up pretty well. And the grunts all go down, having taken out a few metal extractors and a bunch of my defensive units, but I am able to prevent them from doing any serious damage. Candor, knowing that I have that hole there, I'm surprised that he's not coming in with all of this, all of these T1 vehicles. Immediate response to seeing my air is the birdshot artillery, which is definitely wise on his part. Scarlet, do you have units yet? Scarlet with 6 starlights, starting to build a starlight ball, putting him by his commander, allowing his starlights to start firing away. at some of that forward pork that Kander has going on. Oh, I think this is called the porcupine creep here. You just continue to build out as things go. Let's see. Artillery, this gauntlet getting lots of value actually, pushing my units back. And it outranges my unit significantly. So, like I said, a lot of Legion is very much of quantity over quality. A lot of their units not as good as their counterpart units, but much cheaper. You see, just not doing anything here. I can't see anything at all. Bunch of Junos going out, wiping Scarlet's mines away. Oh, it just stuns the mines. Oh, we have the Juno rework on. Interesting. It does still kill scouts, but it only stuns mines. That's fascinating. Not sure I like that. Maybe. Maybe it's okay. Ender with a really big brute ball here. Thinking about pushing in, I think. Or this might be a defensive measure. Scarlet still with barely any combat units at all. Ender not realizing he has so much overwhelming superiority. He could probably take Scarlet for sure. In fact, if he pushed up into BD or into me, it wouldn't go well for either of us with that level of unit. My combat tree still has a lot of the smaller units in it. I resort to spam to try and get some vision for my amputators here. ×3 here. Let's move on a little bit. See, things are moving around the map. Kander getting his fusions up. He's got one Aphis. I have one Aphis myself, starting to build an array up here, trying to get a little bit of an eco thing going on. Looks like Scarlet has a slight eco advantage out of everybody. See BD up here in the corner just racking up the kills. I'm noticing that it's just not doing enough. Get the third one up and just try to get that, trying to get a little bit of vision here. Getting just a little bit of vision. Trying to fire on what he's got. And move some of my units forward to try and take advantage of that. Scarlet and Kander still not doing much down there. Seem to be content to wait it out as they can hear the sounds of battle. I come up from the south, see if I can find anything, and the answer is I can find death and nothing else. Kander Junoing this area up here. And I move in to start hitting with these railgun spiders and just slowly start sniping out some of these units. We got an engagement coming in. BD pushes forward with all these units. Fortunately for me, my napalm artillery doing a lot of damage across a lot of those medium tanks and leaving their corpses as a deterrent to keep anything else from moving forward. And the choke point allowing me to get the surround on a lot of these forward vehicles, which suddenly gives me numerical superiority. Napalm artillery, very valuable Legion unit. Kander, hearing the battle, has decided to make a go of it. My units down here. Kander also moving off to the side. I see a lot of hatred coming in. That is a lot of brutes. A lot of brutes. I do not have enough to stop all these brutes. I send my gunships in. You can see I'm just trying to kill as much of this as I can. Very, very concerned about this. And I don't notice the fiends coming in. Kander doing an excellent two-pronged attack here. Very good strategy by Kander. These brutes just keep coming. Gunship's eventually cleaning them up. But there are so many fiends. Just chewing into my metal base. I don't even know if I've seen it yet. I'm still over here. I'm trying to see. Player camera. I've noticed. I send my guys over. He pulls back his units. I'm worried that this is too late. I send my units in here, and it looks like some of these mexes have been blowing up a lot of what's going on. A little bit of the fratricide as some of those go up. The only saving grace I have. But still, that's too many fiends. Too many fiends in my small area here. I do eventually clean them up, but at what a price. So many wind turbines lost. So many mexes taken out. Devastating my metal extractor economy. Some more fiends coming up trying to take advantage of the hole left by everything else, but I am able to clean them up without an issue. Scarlet over here casually shelling all of Kander's front line. Oh, and apparently during all that I must have popped BD's commander. I will have to go back and look at that. Okay, here we are. We're in the midst of the fight over here with Kander. And I have brought myself back to BD here, and we're going to see exactly what happened here, because I did not see what happened. So we're going to go. So BD walking north. I don't know if he knew his commander was walking this way. Looks like he's moving him intentionally. His energy very low for this. This might just have been him deciding that he was going to end it all. Moving his units up forward. All of my spam starting to tear apart his defenses, and there's not much he can do about it. Starts sending his commander. Yeah, I think he actively chose to just call this. Decided to have his commander go out with a bang. Trying to go in and kill as much as I could, or as much as he could. Decided he is lost and went out with a bang there. Well, respect, BD. I appreciate the valiant fight there. Took out a whole bunch of those goblins. All right, back to the action. So now I move south to try and deal with the next biggest threat, which I know is Kander. Hoping that Scarlet will just keep behind his line. Scarlet, still not a huge army. What is he up to? I'm gonna let this battle go on. I start pushing some of my... I start spamming... I don't think this is intentional. I start spamming ballistas into Kander. I get a few goblins around the backside here. Break a little bit of his eco. Not even break any of his eco. Mostly just annoy Kander as I push in a bunch of these ballista. I'm reasonably sure I had wanted to build... Yeah, I'm pretty sure I switched back to grunts at some point. Accidentally building ballista instead. Yep, there they go. Switch back to the goblins here. So I'm not sacrificing units that are much, much more expensive. Not even getting shots off. A couple shots coming off. A lot of tigers pushing in to chew up this spam coming in at him. Railguns trying to fend that off. Banishers acting as effective anti-air, so I can't bring my T1 gunships in. But entering from stage left, we have everyone's favorite robot pet centipede, the Mukade, Mukade. Mukade? I don't know. Tell me how it sounds. I'm sure someone will tell me I'm wrong. Anyway, we've got a pair of these coming in, and I keep pushing with all of these units, hoping I can weaken it enough to make sure that my Mukades have a chance. Those napalm artillery getting their money's worth here, killing so many of those smaller units. Big push from Kander. Trying to get the surround on some of these units with all these goblins. Just trying to get some surround damage. And at this point, pretty much all I have left of the Mukatis. I think I've eaten my T2 lab. No, I've stopped making them. Eventually, the Mukati's railguns are making a difference. I can stay back. These guys can just chew up the enemy. Back here, Scarlet has built a Ragnarok in a free-for-all. This is 35 minutes, folks. What a build. I don't know what its range is. I'm colorblind, so it's hard to see. I think it stops right about here. Yeah, there we go. Stops right about here, so he can Ragnarok some stuff. What else does he have? So he's literally just trying to kill people with his fixed emplacements. He's not firing because he doesn't have the energy. Oh no, he does. He does have the energy for it. I don't know why he's not firing. Probably because he knows it'll make him the target. Kander pulling back finally here. Deciding it's not worth the fight against the unyielding, unending goblin swarm. This Tsar with 107 kills, just racking up. That is a lot of kills. Tsar is an excellent anti-spam unit if you can keep it back far enough from the spam. Start moving some more of my experimentals forward to try and deal with what he's got going on. Kander in the back line has laid down an experimental gantry, still pumping out that T3. Sorry, T2. I try to go around the side to see if there's anything worth attacking over here, and he sees what's going on. Starts moving these up north to try and take me from the side from where the spam is coming from. Trying to start massing some of these things. Scarlet is up to something, I'm sure. Let's take a look. Looks like he is... What are we building? Building more defenses here. Making sure that no one can hurt him ever again. That is a lot of tachyon beams. He's pumping them out pretty quick too. Let's see, over here the carnage continues. Let's see what's going on here. Track these units as they come in. Fiend's excellent against T1 spam like this. Man, I never took these mexes back. What a joke am I. I should have expanded these ages ago. And out here, I just never did it. I was too busy building my eco here. This would be much cheaper to take more metal. I'm still the biggest economy by a significant amount, but not able to combat this. And then he comes in with all of these fiends, some fratricide helping me out here. Too many fiends is a problem, and eventually they will go down from the ridiculous amount of goblins I sent their way. But that distraction has cost me 3 of my experimentals, possibly 4 of them, as I'm trying to fall back here. It looks like this one's going to go down too, as his vehicles were able to jump on my Mukatis while my attention was elsewhere. Kander's T3 lab is still underway. Oh. It's a second gantry? Oh, I bet you he started this one after that by this build array and is nearly done with a juggernaut. Oh, the power of Cortex artillery. So brutal. Glorious, glorious thing. Scarlet, what are you up to? Scarlet building a nuke. Scarlet up to 8 aphises. I'm not there yet. Scarlet really pushing that energy because he wants to be able to fire his Ragnarok. Although, unfortunately for Scarlet, this ends up being a defensive Ragnarok. I would have put it probably there, or there, or there. He wants to keep it behind his lines to be able to get more of the map. Although putting it so far back means it's just about impossible. Look at this air defense ring. Look at this. Have you ever seen the like? So much port. 26 chainsaws. Sweet babies, that's a lot of chainsaws. Oh man. Let's speed this up a little bit. I start pushing south again with all these. I start, I believe yes. I did build a nuclear missile silo. Candor building the tactical missile launcher. Doing some damage, but it unfortunately was in the range of Scarlet's stuff here. And he throws an air scout out over and is able to effectively bomb all of that. He is now building an endless chain of air scouts to give his artillery more to look at. And that's going to start hammering Candor's defensive line. Scarlet, I think, had decided at this point to make himself the hardest target possible. Juggernaut coming forward. I can hear it on the map. I know I'm in trouble. I think I can take it with as many Mukatis as I've got. I've got 12 Mukatis. I just need to find out where it is. My nuke is almost done. Got overseers going up trying to protect my eco over there. I hear the Juggernaut. I try to fall back with my Mukatis to make sure that I can keep them safe. You see how badly they shred this T2, even Tigers, which are incredibly tough. See if I can find an undamaged Tiger. I mean, you're at 97, that's close. So 5,300. So many hit points for just a relatively cheap T2 unit. Juggernaut here. I have a nuke soon? Not yet. Scarlet has opened up with the Ragnarok, blasting away at all of this over here. That's got to be uncomfortable for Candor. But fortunately for Candor, the Ragnarok cannot actually hit. It looks like it stops right about there. Cannot hit his main base. This Juggernaut sucking up some kills here. I'm up to 14 Mukatis. Starting to feel the pressure a little bit. Scarlet not building his economy out very much here. Just content to sit in the back, fire away with his long-range plasma cannon. And I drop a nuke right on his defensive formation. Just outside of his anti-nuke range here. And there's blood in the water. I wanna kill what he's got. Look just how quickly this Juggernaut starts to melt with all these Mukatis on it. He moves forward for the nuclear explosion death. I'm content to pass it behind. Trying to get some of my Mukatis out of range here. A lot of them take a lot of damage, but the front line is broken, and I start to push in. I don't think free-for-alls usually go this far, and you can see I finally at least put something down on these over here. Got a single construction bot putting some mexes down at least. Finally. He finally wipes this down here. But I have more of them. More of the robo-centipedes coming, and I have more being rezzed. And the goblin horde never ceases. Scarlet building nuclear missile silo after nuclear missile silo after nuclear missile silo. How many anti-nukes do I have? Where is my anti-nuke? There we go. How many of those? One. Yep. Kander giving up the ghost because he feels like he can no longer win against my endless horde of horrible goblins. And with that, there are only two that remain. Scarlet trying to throw some nukes out at me. And immediately the defensive Ragnarok opens up. And I am very nervous. Until I remember that I've got T3 and they're probably going to be okay. I send in a bunch of my fighters to see what's going on, these fighter scouts, and I find the mother of all air walls. Just brutalizing. Another nuke goes off. Makatis keep coming. He's able to stop that push. I have 339 grunts on the field. And I just continue to push in here. At this point, I think Scarlet knows that he is lost, but I assure you he was cackling the entire time this was happening. Just loving everything that his Ragnarok and his ring were doing. I think he actually nukes more of these grunts. Right here, I've got, what is this? 68 of these light aircraft trying to get in, and they can't. 68 of them can't even kill one thing. They just die because he's got so much anti-air. Thought maybe it was worth a shot. The answer is no. No, it is not worth a shot. We got more Mukatis moving in. I moved them in over to the other side here, trying to get in. He's nuking every which way, trying to nuke anything he can. He just doesn't have enough, and the experimentals relentlessly march in. And finally, get close enough to really seal the deal here. I start sweeping my way across the rings, trying to clear some of the anti-air so I can use some of my air if I need to. He starts building some air as well, just trying to get something out. No longer having enough energy to fire the Ragnarok at full bore. And Scarlet's ring is destroyed. So let this be a lesson to all you Porcupine players out there. While Pork is great, there's nothing that can stop a concerted T3 push like this. It's lots of fun. I know it's lots of fun to build these seemingly impenetrable defenses. But at the end of it all, it just can't. It can't compare to the power and toughness. He nukes his own front line. Or maybe I did. I might have done that one. Boom. And Scarlet is no more. And that was one of the silliest free-for-alls I have ever played. Managing by the skin of my teeth to knock out BD. I think it was accidental.
Battle ended.
I don't think I was even looking at it when he died. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. And we'll put that up on the channel. And we'll see. We'll see how these do. Again, if you want to see more of these, let me know. If you don't, let me know. If you'd like to see something live, we can talk about that. Have a great one. Goodbye.